Let's bring in Armine Yalnizyan, economist, Atkinson Fellow on the Future of Workers, and member of the federal government's task force on women in the economy. Welcome, Armine. So what do you make of today's slight increase in jobs numbers? Is this in line with your expectations?
Look, this is, do you remember the old billboards that said your tax cuts at work? This is the Bank of Canada rate hikes at work. So unemployment continues to edge up. More people are working, but wage growth is starting to cool, quite a bit cooler than it was in the winter. And we are seeing most of the wage growth not going to unionized workers, which has been your first two stories, right, this morning. It's mostly going to non-unionized workers, the wage growth that is occurring, and mostly to management, mostly to men, mostly to management. And the most interesting thing about where the jobs are showing up is in health and social assistance. So it's the care economy that continues to grow. It has accounted for about half of all the job growth in the last year. So it is a thing that we need, but it's not growing in terms of wages that much. And that to me are the big takeaways from today's print.
What does this all tell us about the strength of the economy right now?
Oh, it's strong, and everybody has been surprised at how strong it is, but for sure it is cooling. It's punking out because of all these rate hikes that came. I mean, I'm just going to go back to what the Bank of Canada says. It takes between 18 and 24 months for rate hikes to kick in at their full power. And the last rate hike we had was in July of 2023, not even 12 months ago. And there was one the month right before it. So we haven't seen the end of this world of pain that can happen to employment. And in fact, what we are seeing is more men dropping out of the labor market. The unemployment numbers, you said that it only nudged up. This time, compared to this time last year, we have 250,000 more people who lost their job and are looking for a job. Most of them are prime-aged men. The people who are working more are young women and old women. Again, core-aged women, 25 to 54, those women are actually working less than they were for the first time since the beginning of the recovery in March of 2022. So, yeah, the pain is starting to kick in for what the Bank of Canada has done. And we will see how resilient the economy is as they now start easing.
Right. And a lot of people probably going to be wondering what this does mean for interest rates going forward. What do you think?
Oh, nobody can tell you what the path ahead is. I mean, markets are pricing in about 3 more cuts. That will mean that we'll be lucky if we hit 4% by the end of this year. It's happening in Europe. It will happen eventually in the United States, probably next month, if not this month. But, the easing cycle is about to begin, thank goodness. But it won't ease that much. It will not come down to the rates it was before the pandemic hit, for example. And so that'll mean there's still a lot of people that are going to be struggling because though real wages generally have caught up to inflation, they certainly haven't caught up for everybody. And people are paying a whole lot more for their housing costs right now, and that's squeezing out everything else.
All right, that is our time. Armine Yalnizyan, economist, Atkinson Fellow on the Future of Workers, and member of the federal government's task force on women in the economy. Thank you very much for your time.